quantum stocks have been a little bit quiet lately, and I want to share with you guys some insights into what's next for the market. If you guys are wondering about this epic new t-shirt that I'm wearing, that maybe it even has a logo on the back that says something along the lines of Stockmate. Custom made t-shirts are free when you join Stockmate, and the second link down below if you want to watch me trade live each day at market open. So here we are in the quantum space. We got our watch list. There's a few stocks that are moving down a little bit today. You can see Rigetti stock was down 5%. D-Wave QBTS down about 3%. QUBT was down 3%. Even IBM and Google was down 3.5% there. That's quite the drop as well. And Microsoft. So overall, most of the quantum market, the entire quantum market, was down a little bit today. And one thing to note is these companies stay pretty true to pattern when they're in it, when they're in their consistency. And that's an interesting chart. Let's start with Rigetti. Rigetti is consolidating from left to right. You can see it bouncing between this $11.50 price point and really this $14.50 to $15.50 zone, but mostly $14.50. You can see it bouncing between that zone, going up and down. And right now it's at a level where it was trying to hold this previous resistance. It broke below a little bit today, and now it's going to be approaching this support. So this support is a key level because it's a previous resistance right there, previous support. It's been acting as a support right now, and I think if we extend it out over here was also a key level, a previous resistance and a consolidation zone. So this level right here at about $11.80 is likely going to be one that we're going to watch closely here as we get into next week. So right now it's Friday, February 7th. And as we get into the weekend, we'll do some more research, see where the market's headed. But the three things we look at when analyzing a stock, we could look at Rigetti, could look at QBTS, and a lot of these ones have very similar patterns. I think I can even map this out quite similarly as the same kind of pattern that I just laid out for you guys. So you can actually see, we drop that down, that resistance level. It's consolidation across the market. I think QUBT is a little similar, but a little more bearish. That's one that's not really, and they don't have as much press. At least the marketing side of QUBT isn't as impressive. And the coverage that we get on D-Wave, for example, QBTS or Rigetti has been much better, or IONQ. I was really happy with that recovery we saw on IONQ after the quantum crash with Jensen's comments. And all these stocks soared about over 500% on average in just the past 2 or 3 months. And when they sold off, the recovery on IONQ is the most prominent. And that was the company that was at CES. They've had some breakthroughs recently. So let's take a look. The first thing we have to think about, again, is the market. It's expected to grow between $1 and $3 trillion in the coming years by 2030. So that's a really big market, because right now it's only at about 150 billion. So expecting to go to 3 trillion, or on the high end 3 trillion, that's a massive, that's more than 10x of a current value of these quantum stocks. Now, the reason they haven't got there yet is there's developments that are happening, but there's some big support that we're going to see related to quantum. So if we search quantum initiative, one bill that we're expecting here to potentially get passed that we want to keep a close eye on is this. It says senators, quantum leaders back a $2.7 billion National Quantum Initiative Reauthorization Act, which if this passes, it's expected to. For reference, you got IONQ, you got Microsoft. It's definitely going to impact Rigetti and some of the other companies that are in the quantum space. And what you might expect is this to get passed again. This is something that's a $2.7 billion bill, but it's been passed before at, I want to say, I don't know if it was this article. It got signed in 2018. And in 2018, doesn't say the amount of money that it was, but there's a lot of great things about this. IONQ applauds the Senator Maria Cantwell in efforts to reauthorize the National Quantum Initiative Act. And meow, meow, meow. Mr. Loco is meowing. Um, have you guys seen Loco? I gotta show you. But you could also see some of this bill in the past. I think that we could find it here in 2018. It was a 5-year deal and it's getting renewed. I think before it was about 1.5 billion and now they're upping it to 2.7 billion. If they're going to compete with China, China is expected to invest between 5 and 10 billion over the next 5 years. So even the US, most likely, even though this is only 2.7 billion, the other thing that will impact quantum is going to be the Stargate bill here. Is it a bill? Yeah. $500 billion into Stargate to build up AI in the US. And you had Sam Altman from OpenAI talking about some of the developments that are happening in AI. And also it was Larry Ellison who was talking, the CEO of, I believe it's Oracle. Hopefully I believe it's Oracle. But you can double check. Larry Ellison. Yeah, it's Oracle. And meow meow. As we can see here, this is going to be a $500 billion thing. And if they're investing in AI infrastructure, most likely they're going to be looking at not just data centers or not just GPUs, but they're going to be looking at QPUs. And what do we know about QPUs? If GPUs, primarily big companies, tech companies, run through the cloud, most of them do, by accessing data centers to process data and solve problems using GPUs, the next up level that's going to be in tandem with that, but also increase computing power and allow companies to achieve more and solve bigger problems, will be QPUs. And Buddy wants outside. We're almost done. We got to wrap this up for the sake of Loco. And that's his name, Loco. We almost named him Lucifer because he was, but we're not getting into that. His name's Loco. Loco's more innocent. Good thing he has a scratching post. So Rigetti stock, QPU, they're providing AWS customers access. There's Rigetti. You can see the quantum computer. You can tap into it. The downtime apparently is like a couple days or sometimes more for you to get your answers back sometimes with this quantum computer. Other ones have faster, I believe IONQ. So you can see AWS, Microsoft. If I go to Google, I can tap into these quantum computers through the cloud. And why would you tap into one of these computers? And we'll get into D-Wave, but why would you tap into one of these computers as opposed to GPUs? The answer is simple. If I want to solve a problem that has millions and millions of data points, it will simply just take much, much, much longer or not be solvable with GPUs unless I get down to just really optimizing the software more, something like that. But think about it this way. If you're trying to process millions of data points, an example is they could process molecular or maybe the chemical reaction on the high level overview with GPUs. But if you want to get down to the electrons, you want to get down to the ionic, the atoms that are moving there, the electrons, you're going to need extreme frequency and calculating with massive computing power. And that is where quantum computers can do that. They can keep up. Not only can they keep up, but they could also be used in tandem. This is actually primarily how they're used in tandem with AI. So they use AI in classical computers to first run the problem through the quantum computer. Quantum computers are only really as effective as the fidelity and effectiveness of their qubits. It's kind of like a garden, right? So if you have a garden and you got a bunch of tomato plants, but all the tomato plants are not good, you're going to have a bad garden. It's not going to give you that much fruit. But if you have one tomato plant that's like really, really good and you like perfect it and slowly grow out, it's better. Same deal here with quantum computers. The qubits, down to the qubits, are really important to have fidelity, and focusing on the efficiency there is important. That's what a lot of these companies are emphasizing. So that's why you use quantum computers. They take 30 million data points, run it through down to a quantum computer, get an answer about, for example, lithium ion battery. This is Microsoft executive saying this. They get the answer out from 30 million down to 8 options. From 8 options, they bring it back to the AI. They bring it back to the classical computer. They solve it down. And eventually, Within 6 months, they were able to improve the lithium ion battery efficiency by 70%. They're also working on binding peptide proteins. You could see that with Amgen, that they're one of the companies that's using quantum computers to work in drug discovery, vaccines, and things like that. And you can see Amgen's also been on a very consistent uptrend. They're a much larger cap company. But if you just look at their trend, we just started mapping them out really the past few weeks. But you could just see this trend develop. And it's quite consistent. It has its volatility. But really back in beginning of January, when we added them to our watch list, it hasn't been long because we went in January 12th to CES, and that's where I learned that they were the only big company that was using quantum computers to learn how to bind peptide proteins in cancer strains to actually come up with some vaccines for cancer. And that was talked about at that Stargate event here as well. That was talked about. Sam Altman kind of mentioned that. That's why I'm saying this 500 billion into Stargate AI, that infrastructure could definitely go to quantum computing as well. But the point about Amgen is that we did that CES event. You can go find it back on the YouTube if you go to my content and you go back to January. Watch this video. I'll leave it down below. You can go here, and we actually posted, where was it? Right here? January. Yeah, so it was right there. We went to CES, and we got really good information. Really good information. This is a video that goes into the details. You could hear IBM. You could hear Microsoft chat about it. It's a full video breakdown. And IONQ was there as well, and I got to ask some questions. That's amazing. You know, we got our pass for free to get into that because we have a YouTube channel here. They let me get into free, like $2,000 pass for free. And then also the revenue of the video, $142. And with like after Airbnb, after travel and everything else, it was great. It was like we got paid to go cover this event. And I'm excited. There's more events. One of them is D-Wave in Phoenix. We might even host an event. You guys want to do an event where we rent a space and we have, if you're an investor, you can come out to Phoenix for 2 days and we can do a mastermind of sorts and we can break down stocks and I can give you guys some of the hidden sauce that we're working in. That would be cool. Let me know if you'd like to do that. Leave a comment down below because one of the things is they have a D-Wave one, and that's QBTS. Is that, yeah, QBTS here has the new conference that they're doing in March, I believe late March, is that right? And they're going to be focusing on things that are different than Rigetti, different than IONQ, because this company is building their own cloud service directly on their website. And they're the company that when the whole quantum market sold off, it kind of crashed down because Jensen said it's 15, 20 years away. They're the company that said, we're doing it today. They changed their headline. The power of quantum computing realized today. They said we're commercial today, and they changed their website. Real world applications today. They're talking about how they're working with supply chain. I think maybe there's NASA. A lot of these companies work with NASA, Lockheed Martin, and they're big on on learning. If you guys want to learn, they got free guides on how to use their quantum computers through the clouds. And hey, look at that. It's Scottsdale, Arizona, not Phoenix, but both very close together. And that's on March 31st to April 1st. March 31st to April 1st. That's an event you'd like to go to. And they got some white papers, quantum computing skeptics, enthusiasts. They educate on how they're using the technology, and you can see what industries they are in. They're in finance as well, I believe. You can see cargo and supply chain, all that. So as we wrap up here, all these companies in the quantum space right now seem to be pretty close to the support. And what I'm looking at here with Rigetti, is it's pretty close to the support. A lot of them are. They've kind of sold off the past 2 days after consolidating, and it's still sideways. They could continue sideways for a while, but again, we on the near term expect volatility. We're looking to trade them at market open, and if opportunities present themselves, we're there. Stockmates, the second link below if you guys want to watch me trade live each and every morning. Today, our Stockmates got to watch me trade live, and we traded CTM. We're up 16% on that position, and our portfolio is up 7% today. And we've been able to find some patterns that work well, and it can work for you. I'm not going to tell you what to buy and sell, but I will say that these are the markets that you want to pay attention to when you're investing. Quantum, cloud and SaaS, AI and large language models, definitely space tech. There's going to be financial innovations. There's going to be oil and petroleum in news that's going to come out, especially related to tariffs. We're already seeing new U.S. oil production. But if you're particularly fascinated with AI, quantum, space tech, and some of those companies, I would encourage you, check out Stockmate. If you want to see me trade live each and every morning at market open, that's the place. I'd love to have you there Monday. We're going to monitor this position. We're in long term on a few of these. Near term, we'll be trading in close proximity, most likely right at market open. That's where a lot of the dips happen that we can take advantage of. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. Leave your comments down below. What do you guys think about the quantum space right now? There's a lot of new innovations. I just didn't even go deep in this video. I could show you guys all of the nitty gritty stuff that I've been learning about these quantum computing companies. And I can say that the growth curve is exponential. There's exponential curve right now. We're not in a flat, stagnant spot right now. We're in a place where things are accelerating fast. And I love to see it. Love to keep you guys updated on it. If I earned your thumbs up, hit that like button. Do consider subscribing. I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.